15 Signs of Toxic Parents. Everyone has been affected by toxic parents at some point in their lives. At some point, toxic parents can be a major roadblock in a child's life. The consequences of having toxic parents will potentially last a lifetime. So, how to spot toxic parents? First, lack of empathy or interest in their children's lives. Some signs of a toxic parent are a lack of empathy or interest in their children's lives. This could be evident in how they interact with their children, whether it is neglectful or abusive. Additionally, a toxic parent may be critical and withhold love, which can lead to a child feeling unsupported and insecure. If you're noticing any of these behaviors in your parent or caretaker, it's important to speak up for yourself and seek help. Second, excessive criticism, yelling, or verbal assaults. Parents who exhibit excessive criticism, yelling, and verbal assaults are often considered to be toxic. This type of parenting can cause a child great stress and anxiety, which can lead to problems in school and at home. Children who are raised in a toxic environment often struggle with self-esteem, confidence, and relationships. It is important for parents to be aware of the signs of toxicity so they can help their children avoid it. Third, denying their children's basic needs, like food, shelter, or medical care. When parents deny their children basic needs like food, shelter, or medical care, it can be a sign of toxic parenting. This type of parenting can lead to a child being insecure and feeling abandoned. It can also cause the child to develop behavioral problems. In extreme cases, a child may even become chronically ill or even die as a result of being raised in a toxic home. If you are concerned that your parent is abusing or neglecting you, please talk to someone about it. There is help available. Fourth, constantly placing their children in unsafe environments. A common sign of a toxic parent is constantly placing their children in unsafe environments. This can include not providing them with adequate food or housing, not providing them with proper medical care, or engaging in physical violence against them. Toxic parents also tend to be highly critical and negative toward their children, which can lead to feelings of insecurity and inferiority. Fifth, making their children do chores without pay. Toxic parents often make their children do chores without pay. This can be a sign of psychological abuse. It is also a way to control the child and make them feel indebted to the parent. If you are being made to do chores without pay, it is important to speak up. You may need to get help from a professional or family friend. Sixth, make their children sleep in the same room as them even if they're not sleeping through the night. Toxic parents often make their children sleep in the same room as them even if they're not sleeping through the night. This can be a sign of a troubled relationship and an unhealthy home. It's also likely to cause stress in the child, who may feel like he or she is constantly being monitored. Seventh, forcing their children to live a life of secrecy and isolation from the outside world. Many children who grow up with toxic parents often develop a life of secrecy and isolation from the outside world. These children may feel unable to tell anyone about their experiences, as they are constantly afraid of retribution from their parents. Toxic parents often use emotional abuse and control to manipulate their children. They may make the children live in a constant state of fear, forcing them to stay quiet or keep secrets. As a result, these children often become very stressed out and suffer from numerous mental health issues. If you are concerned that you may be living with a toxic parent, it is important to reach out for help. There are many resources available to assist you in rebuilding your life. Eighth, refusing to let their children express their feelings or take part in activities that they enjoy. Toxic parenting can manifest in many ways, but some of the most common signs are when parents refuse to let their children express their feelings or take part in activities that they enjoy. This can be done explicitly, by pushing the child to keep all emotions inside, or implicitly, by withdrawing love and approval unless the child follows the parent's wishes perfectly. This type of parenting can cause a child to develop a deep sense of misplaced anger or resentment, which can lead to problems in their personal life as well as in their relationships with others. Ninth, making their children feel like they're always wrong or stupid. The most common signs of toxic parents are when they make their children feel like they're always wrong or stupid. They may berate them or give them a constant sense of inferiority. This can have a negative impact on their mental health and well-being and can lead to problems in school or at work. 10th, constantly comparing their children to others, either in terms of looks or accomplishments. Some signs that a parent is toxic may be a constant comparison of their children to others, either in terms of looks or accomplishments. This can lead to the child feeling insecure and inadequate, which can have a negative impact on their self-esteem. Additionally, parents who are toxic may be critical and unsupportive of their children's efforts, which can also have a negative impact on their development. If you are concerned that your parents are causing harm to your emotional well-being, it is important to speak with them about what you're experiencing. 11th, forcing their children to live a life according to their strict religious or moral beliefs. Children who grow up in homes where their parents force them to live according to their strict religious or moral beliefs may have difficulty forming healthy personal relationships later in life. These children may be reluctant to take risks and may be less likely to trust others. They may also struggle with confidence and self-esteem. 12th, ignoring or dismissing any evidence of abuse by the parents towards the child, even if it's obvious. A child who is repeatedly ignored or dismissed by their toxic parents may grow up to have low self-esteem and a difficult time trusting others. They may also be more likely to become perpetrators of abuse in their own relationships. 13th, threatening to disown their children if they defy them or disobey them in any way. There are many signs that a toxic parent is present. One sign might be that the parent threatens to disown their children if they defy them or disobey them in any way. Another sign might be that the parent behaves violently towards their children, often hitting, slapping, or screaming at them. It's important to remember that not all toxic parents are violent. Some may exhibit other signs of toxicity such as neglect or emotional abuse. If you're concerned about your own child's well-being, it's important to speak to a therapist or doctor about your concerns. 14th, showing zero interest in what their children do for fun, whether it's participating in sports, playing video games, going out with friends, etc. Some signs that a parent is toxic could be if they have no interest in what their children are doing for fun. This could be shown by not participating in sports, not wanting to go out with friends, or not being interested in video games or other activities. It can also show if the parent is constantly angry or negative towards the child. 15th, making themselves available only when it's convenient for the child, and otherwise ignoring them. There are a few red flags that may indicate that a parent is toxic. One indicator may be if the parent becomes available only when it's convenient for the child and otherwise ignores them. Another indicator may be if the parent does not provide emotional support to the child or is confrontational. If these behaviors continue, they may be indicative of a toxic relationship and could lead to difficulties in the child's development.